Tonight we have two members of our deer remediation committee. They're residents, they're committee members. We have Kate Supran, who lives here in the village, in addition to being a mother and a self-trained expert on deer research. She's co-president of the Cayuga Heights Elementary School PTA. We also have John Hermanson, a veterinary biologist, and I call him animal scientist. I'm a layperson, and that's what I call him. He may take issue with that, but he's also a resident and has been affected by the deer population.
I guess I have 3 points: auto deer accidents, zoonotic disease, and human deer aggressive interactions. By the first point, auto deer accidents, there's a website here in Tompkins County. In 2007, 311 deer were removed from the highways in Tompkins County. I'd like to start getting data in terms of what's going on in Cayuga Heights as well. In Wisconsin, an estimate I read, 16% of all car accidents were deer-related in 1993, which is pretty staggering. State Farm, 2005, 150 persons die per year in the United States in automobile deer accidents. Zoonotic disease, we're talking about issues which have been raised already. Lyme disease, this is kind of something no one wants to talk about in Tompkins County. People seem to have Lyme disease here, animals seem to have Lyme disease here. The issue is whether or not it's related to our intrinsic deer population or not, or if this was from travel outside of the state. Don't have the numbers, so that's the sort of information we need. Talked to a number of people who know the deer tick and they know what's going on with it. There's not direct evidence that we have a problem here in the county in terms of the ticks, but it's close. We do know that. We have concerns about chronic wasting disease, a huge problem in Michigan. It has touched New York briefly. We believe it's been eradicated, but we need to research this. This is a prion-based disease. We don't know much about this, but you use the word mad cow disease and people start to pay attention.
I don't think that it's a reason to shoot the deer because it could help alleviate hunger in our area, but it's certainly a nice byproduct of a bait and shoot program that meat would be used in its entirety by the Southern Tier Food Bank has agreed to take the deer and take the deer meat, process it into ground venison, and distribute it throughout their area, which includes Tompkins County.
I also have concerns that we'll explore about exposure to parasites, which might be encountered if your kids are in the backyard and they're hanging around with deer feces. My third point, human deer aggressive interactions. This sounds kind of silly, but explain that to Ron Dudek of Rancho Santa Fe in California. He died of complications inflicted to his face by a deer in his backyard garden. We do have to worry about aggressive behavior by these animals during the rutting season. And maybe, I don't think I'm the great outdoorsman here, but going out to get the newspaper about 2 weeks ago, I had a doe stamping her feet at me, and she was defending a fawn. You need to pay attention to this because these animals are known to stand up and hurt you if you get into that. It doesn't happen much here in Cayuga Heights. My point is simply I don't want it to be happening here. I have kids here, and I want them safe.
The bait and shoot option reduces your deer population. The meat can be used by charitable organizations for food for people who are hungry. And then a really important feature of this is that the deer become more wary of humans. That's really important because when you open your door in Cayuga Heights and walk out and yell at the deer, nothing happens. If you pick up a rock and throw it at the deer, nothing happens. If you hit them, they sort of turn and look at you. Diana and I are both runners, and we go out and run in the early morning, and you come right up on a deer, and they don't move. If you're on a trail running, and you come upon a large deer, it doesn't move. It advances towards you, and it's really frightening. I mean, I haven't had a deer charge me, but I could see that happening. I mean, they're scary, large animals. They're not, and if they have no fear of humans, then they pose a danger to our actual physical safety. And none of us who think deer are a problem, I know many people are fabulous gardeners. We're not saying that the deer are a problem because they're eating the heirloom tomatoes. I believe the deer are a problem because of Lyme disease and because of deer auto collisions and deer-human conflict in general. I'm not saying it because I think that I need to protect my tomatoes.